do not listen to people who say it's so hard, only the 1% make it. You're crazy if you don't have a plan B. And don't listen to people who say, if there's ever a moment you feel like giving up, then it's not for you. Like, all those things are bullshit. It's hard, and like there are moments where you do feel like giving up, but it doesn't mean it's because you don't want to do it. It's just because it's hard, and there are like a lot of ups and downs, but you just got to get through that. And usually on the other side of that is like when something awesome happens.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Taking It Easy podcast. Alongside me, I have Rowan and special guest Azizi. To anybody who said that we're directing this podcast just for boys, you're very wrong. We have a model on today, and you guys are gonna absolutely love it if you're a boy or a girl. But yeah, Azizi, very lovely having you here on the podcast. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yes, welcome. We are super excited to have you. Obviously, I've known you for quite some time. Being next door neighbors for a couple of years, I've got to know you a little bit. But take us back to kind of where it started, where the dream started to, I don't know, like go overseas, become a model, like through high school. Like where did it all start for you?
Oh God, where did it start? I mean, I would say like ever since I was very young, I always wanted to do something bigger than like just staying in the hometown, which is Sydney, which I love Sydney. But like, I think, I don't know, I would say like around 16 years old, there was like, I don't know, just like this desire to do something creative that I didn't really see many other people doing in Sydney, especially at that time.
Yeah.
So, that's when it really started, and I started researching like, how can I move to America? Like, how can I get into acting or modeling and things like that? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like what do you reckon might have had like an influence on you like in high school? Were you doing like drama classes or seeing like, I don't know, Marilyn Monroe, or seeing like actresses on TV and we're like, wow, like that would be so cool. That feels like they're living a life.
Yeah. No.
Because I mean, not usually everyone is like, damn, like I want to move to America and be a model. I know I haven't had that single thought, and I know a lot of people don't. So like, was there like, no, unfortunately. But what like, I don't know, what was like a defining moment or thing where you were like, damn, like that looks cool to be able to do?
You know, it's interesting. I actually got into modeling because I thought it would help with acting. I was never like, I want to get into modeling. It's actually funny that that's how it started.
Yeah.
Not really true. People always say that like modeling and acting go hand in hand, and they don't. They're completely separate things. Yeah. Like, it's very interesting when you really get into it. Like, modeling is just, you are like a part of an advertising thing. Like, you were just advertising something. You're a blank canvas, which is great, and it brings like a lot of experiences and all that kind of stuff. And then acting is an art. Like, modeling is an art as well in a way, but like acting is really a craft that you have to like learn how to do and practice, and it's a whole nother game. So yeah, I was doing drama in school, and I was like going to the Australian Theatre for Young People and doing like,
I did that as well.
You did?
Yeah,
way.
I did. That's so cool. There you go. We've got a little common
like
ground.
Summer programs and like little things like that.
I loved it. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, because I knew somebody who I was acting with who went over to America to do a show. So like a TV, like a Netflix show. So I was like, that's cool. But so would you say like the ultimate aim is to become an actress to get into that industry?
Yeah, that's definitely the goal, acting and writing, and that's primarily what I'm doing now anyway. I still, I guess, model occasionally. I mean, that's what got me my visa to America, was through modeling, because it's a lot easier than acting. And but yeah, primarily just acting and writing.
That's really cool. So let's go back to like, how old were you when you moved over to America?
I had just graduated and just turned 18, so I was.
Oh wow! Okay.
She was like us, bro.
Was that scary at any point? Like moving to I guess, I mean, not a foreign country like where they don't speak English, but still like a completely new, like a blank canvas at 18. You know, that could be quite daunting, don't you think?
Yeah, it was in a way. I mean, one, I liked the challenge, but it put me in positions where like I didn't have any family. I didn't have any friends. I moved to New York first, and it's such a big city, and I'm like 18 and I only have a certain amount of money that I saved up to bring with me.
Yeah.
But it like really made me push and be like, okay, I came here for this reason, and like I have to make it happen, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it motivated you even more.
It motivated me, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, like I heard that, because obviously like the modeling and like acting stuff, especially in the States, is such a cutthroat industry. I've talked to like other people who have gone over and tried it, and it's like super, like if you don't make it, then it can be super like hard to take. So like, what was it like first going over and trying to find gigs and like different like things to do over in America, especially New York? That's like where it happens.
Yeah. Oh my God. They say, what is it, like New York, the city where all your dreams come true? I got rejected 10 times.
Wow. But you got there.
Yeah. Well, like that's the thing that I've been like learning a lot lately, and like actually want to like get the message across, is like people think that everything happens overnight just because maybe like you'll watch a movie and you'll see that person for the first time ever and you're like, oh, overnight success, but like you don't see what happens behind closed doors. Like 100%. I don't really think everyone is an overnight success. I got rejected so many. I actually, when I first started out, I submitted online to modeling agencies, and I got rejected from a lot of them because I was like a little bit shorter for a model. And that's why I was like, okay, if you guys aren't going to say yes to me over email, I'm going to save up and go over to New York. You're going to meet me. And then And it worked eventually, but it didn't. It took time.
It took
a lot. Quite, like I know that when, like for modeling especially, I know that like, say like we're talking about basketball stars or something like that, like behind the scenes, they just go to the gym, go to court, work out. For yourself, like with the modeling stuff, what's kind of like the behind the scenes of that, like having a strict diet or having a strict workout plan or having to like keep that perfect shape, I guess.
Drinking lemon water.
That's a really good question. I mean, it's changed a lot. Like now you can be healthy. It's just like you don't have to be super skinny and like look a certain way, and which I think is really cool. Like the industry has changed so much over the last like 5 years.
In a good way.
In a really good way. Like they want it now. They want girls with personalities. They want girls with stories. They want girls who have unique features, like interesting looks, all types of body shapes.
That's cool.
It is really cool because when I started out, I lived in a model apartment in New York, and there was some like really unhealthy like eating habits of the girls, and like it wasn't sustainable. Let's just say that.
Yeah, 100%.
Just keeping healthy, and like having other things to focus on, because modeling is so like out of your control. Like you don't really control if you book a job or not, and that can be like really like feel really shitty. So it's like having other things to focus on and is really important.
Yeah. So like before all this transformation that happened over like the past 5 years with the modeling industry, what was it like prior to it? It was like you had to have like between this height and between this weight, and you had to have these specific features, because you know that with what you're telling me, like it seems like you had to be like the perfect human to become a model. You know?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I mean, I'm 5'8" and I was too short. So
you're literally taller than me.
So you're way too short, buddy.
My modeling days are gone. It's never happened.
You ain't gonna make it, bro.
I'm not gonna make it.
No, it was like what was I going to say? Yeah, it was more like you were kind of like a coat hanger, if that makes sense. So like you're super skinny, like everything just has to look good on you. And now, you know, and also to be honest, like when I started in Sydney, I'm half Lebanese, half Irish and Australian. And like even my look was too like ethnically ambiguous for Sydney like 6 years ago. Like, they didn't know what to do with me. They were like, you're kind of commercial, but then you're kind of like weird looking. We don't know what to do with you, so like nothing. And then I moved to the States, and they're so much more open-minded at the time, and like they are now. And it was just awesome. Like they I don't know if it's because like there's a bigger population, there's more opportunities, they can like take a few more risks. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
no, well, like, because
yeah.
I know that it's been like a massive topic, I'd say, over the last 10 years since social media has been hugely influential throughout, especially the youthful society. Like what would be your opinions on like the mental health effects of having stigmas, especially like for women, and guys too, of having that perfect body, those slim waists, the nice core, the big abs, because I know it's had a massive effect, and all over social media, it's just, that's all you see, just that perfect body, and that's what people want to get. So, I mean, what would kind of be your point of view of how it's kind of changing over time, or how it was to how it is now?
Yeah, I that's a really good question as well. I think just from what I've noticed, people have like collectively felt this thing of like everyone wants to be that, but everyone also knows that none of that's real. Like we all look up to it, we all compare ourselves to it, but even the people who post it know that they're like, there's a filter on it, they're editing it, they're like doing just unattainable things to like get that photo to look perfect. And I think a lot of people are like realizing that now, which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
But one thing for me, I actually delete the Instagram app from my phone, and I only download it like a couple times a week, or when I know there's something on it for work. So I use it as a tool, but like I don't like look at other people's stuff, because
okay, so you use it for yourself strictly, like if I'm going to post something, or if I need to respond to somebody or something like that. Yeah,
I don't, because otherwise I'm just like find myself like scrolling and like comparing, and like I do fall into that trap too. I don't think anyone,
I think everyone does, and it's funny because we are all aware of it, but it's still like an innate response to just be like, oh, well, they look better than me, or they have bigger muscles, or more prominent abs, or you know, they're more slim than me. So it's interesting to hear from your perspective as somebody who's like putting that out, but also still like reacting to it, because it's, you know, you could be have a perfect body as being a model, but still actually look at other people post stuff and compare, and that's just not healthy. Yeah.
Would that be like kind of living in that model apartment? What was that like? Because I mean, that kind of sounds like a Love Island or like Bachelor situation.
I've never heard of a model apartment.
Yeah, like all these like beautiful women in the same room. Like what?
Every guy wants to know what a model apartment is.
Oh, you called me out. Oh no.
That's why you asked.
No, it's not as like glamorous as it sounds at all. It's like basically modeling agencies will bring like a bunch of girls over from all over the world who like are starting out, and they'll have an apartment, like maybe let's say 3-bedroom apartment, and they put like 2 bunk beds in each room, so you can fit 4 girls in each room, and they'll make the girls pay. Well, they'll like front it for you, so they'll pay it for you, and then it comes out of your jobs. So it's basically just like a apartment owned by the agency, and they can bring as many girls as they want there, try and get them working, try and like see if they'll be whatever, like get clients and stuff like that. So some like during New York Fashion Week, I think that was like, I don't know, there was like crazy, like 15 girls in like a 3-bedroom apartment.
Damn! Oh my god! Holy crap!
It was nutty. Yeah, it was a good experience for sure, and I did it in India as well, which was like a whole different thing. But definitely glad those days are over.
Oh, so you went to India to do modeling? Was that like a one-off? Oh wow! Okay.
I lived there for 3 months.
Oh, good experience or no?
Okay, hold on.
I'm scared of going to India.
Really? Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to like drink dirty water or something.
They are a developed country, bro. Not all of them are living in farms.
Well, no, you have a valid point, because like a lot. I think I was the only girl who didn't get like really sick in the apartment. Like, drink the water, like you have to boil everything just to make sure you don't get sick. And when you get sick there, it's like you're in the hospital. It's so bad.
Shit. Okay.
So it's a valid fear.
Yeah. Okay.
Like whereabouts have you traveled around the world for modeling? Or has it just been like strictly like LA, New York, and India?
Which is super random, right? LA, New York. I honestly haven't done that much because I was in New York and then I did go to Florida, Miami for a little bit, and then back to Australia and then to India and then to LA. And as soon as I came to LA, I kind of stayed here. And I've been here 5 years now, which is crazy.
Damn.
Wow.
I can already tell that you're picking up the accent as well.
I was gonna say, you do sound more American.
Really?
That's crazy.
Well, I have to do an American accent sometimes when I'm acting, so I think it's like...
Yeah. It's like it's a real muddled up accent. It's really interesting. It's like some words you sound more Aussie, and then some words you sound more American. Is really skewed.
But like what? Because I know that like what's it like financially, for example, saying like might not get like a kind of job or like modeling gig for a couple of weeks or even months. Do you have to have another job, or is it just strictly the modeling, or do you get like, I don't know, like a certain wage from the agency or anything? Like, how does that work?
So for someone like me who's on a work visa, so I'm like sponsored to be here just for that, you're legally not allowed to take any other work outside of being paid from that agency who sponsors your work visa to be here. So even when things are slow, like that has been such a struggle and a push for me, because when things are slow, like I can't go and just get another side job or whatever, you know? And I know a lot of girls in my position experience that. It's a blessing and a curse, because it makes you think outside the box, and it like forces you to be like, okay, well, what are like 3 things I can do today to make sure I'm getting more work, seeing more clients, like doing all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it definitely like for sure has its you know, challenges. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say so you've been doing modeling for how many years now? You've been away for 5, 6 years, is that right?
Okay. Like altogether 6.
Yeah. So is it your time now to move away from the industry?
Yes, from modeling, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Overall though, like great experience, or was it like more like, I don't know, it was an interesting experience, because it seems like there's a mix of good and bad. Like as you said, you don't see what happens behind closed doors, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think overall it's been an amazing experience, because if I didn't do the modeling part, I would have never moved to America, been able to live here and work here, and had the experiences that I've had here, meet the people that I've met here. There are so many opportunities over here for the creative industry, and it's like, yeah, my life would be completely different. So
100%. Especially in LA, like it seems like that's kind of like the home for all the models and the influencers and stuff like that. So you would agree?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, yeah, 100%. When I first moved here, I was kind of like, whoa, and then you get used to it, and yeah.
Was it a big difference to New York? Because you're on the other side of America, but like with the way how the people acted, like was it less toxic, or how would you say?
That's a good question. Yeah, it is very different. I feel like here people are actually more laid back, and people kind of say that LA is like Sydney on steroids. Like there are some similarities here, you know? Like, But in New York, people are so like, I'm on a mission and that's it. Like you bump into someone and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then they just
they don't care.
I'm walking there. So what's kind of like the goal, like the big goal moving forward, whether that be like TV shows, acting, just doing like writing, like what would you say moving forward away from the modeling stuff?
Hollywood movies?
Definitely film, television, writing, and acting. I mean, that's what I've been doing the last, like, I'd say year and a half, 2 years now, probably. But yeah, film, I love film. The movies, definitely good TV shows as well, yes. And writing, I just finished writing and producing a short film called Tinfoil, which
there you go, guys.
Yeah, so awesome. That'll be doing the film festival circuit at the end of this year, early next year.
How are the people able to watch Tinfoil?
Well, when it gets submitted to the film festivals, so things like Sundance and Cannes Film Festival and like Tribeca, like all those ones, there'll be like a release, but that won't happen until like mid next year.
Wow. So, yeah, like, that's a process.
How's COVID had an effect on the whole acting and like modeling? I feel like that would have been huge.
Yeah, it oh my God, it had a huge effect. Like film sets just opened up again and everyone is so careful. Like, so I'm on a film set right now. We have to get tested 3 times a week. You have to wear a mask.
3 times a week?
Yeah.
Oh, I got tested once and I thought it was a violation.
That's
the nose one is a violation.
Yeah.
Is it still the back of the throat or is it just the nose now?
No, they've figured it out. So we just have to do like a cheek swab. It's
okay.
like really low key, and then that's
we're so behind in
good.
Sydney. It's still the double nostril and back of the throat.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
You guys are still like shoving it back there. You don't need to do that.
Activating the gag reflex, Ron is just like, oh, Ron, man.
But going back to COVID, like for the acting especially, because I know it's kind of hard to do that like over a Zoom call or anything like that. Like usually acting, it's the best time to do it person to person on a set.
We have to do it on a set. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It did change it a lot. I mean, halfway through the beginning of last year, they tried to like adjust and do like Zoom auditions, which is like, I auditioned into Juilliard last year on Zoom. But not a good decision. Like, not good because I had really bad internet at the time.
Oh no.
I like got called back, and then in the callback I froze.
And
I had this like improvising exercise where you're like singing to your baby, and it was like super vulnerable and awkward, and I froze, and I was like,
oh no.
So yeah, they tried to adjust, and they've done a good job, but like there's nothing like in person.
I mean, what can you do in that situation? You just have to
would you say that like the modeling or the acting would be more of a cutthroat industry? Because I know they're pretty similar.
Yeah, you guys have a good question. I would say the modeling is there like you're getting judged on purely your looks. Like with acting, it's like a craft, it's an art. You can get better at it.
100%.
Outside the box, you can bring something, you can tell a story, you can like inspire people. With modeling, it's just like, we don't like the way you look. Oh, babe, we love you. Like it's so.
But surely it's kind of similar in acting though. Like they'll be looking for a specific kind of look for a specific role. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably more leeway, I guess. But like if you, as you said, like you can kind of make up for it with your acting if you're not exactly fitting the criteria for the looks. But would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that. Definitely. The I guess like positive side to that is they always have like a character breakdown when you get an audition, right?
Okay.
But what I've learned recently is, so the writer will have like a specific character that they've written in their mind, but if you bring something that they love and that's real, then like that can go out the window. That doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So like there's so much room for you to bring whatever character you want to bring, and if it's real and people like are affected by it, then it doesn't matter what they were originally looking for. Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. I want to go back to, so when you originally came over, right, you still had the intention of getting into acting. That was always the aim. When you realized that, okay, modeling and acting don't really have as much affiliation as I thought they did, what was your kind of way of getting into the industry with acting?
I kind of realized that when I was in LA, and I had a roommate at the time who was an actor, and I was just like asking him so many questions, and that's when I started to figure out like the agencies are different, like the training is, everything is different. So I started Googling just like schools and things you can go to, and I threw myself into like a few different acting schools out here, and from that point on, it really was just like asking everyone a bunch of questions. Like being in LA helps because every second person
of course, exactly.
Yeah,
were you still doing modeling simultaneously, or?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so that helps, obviously. Yeah,
that helps too. But I think just throwing yourself into a class and building a community where you can learn from people, and there are so many resources out here, like for actors. It's crazy.
So you would say if anybody wants to become an actor or get into the industry, the place to go is to LA, because I've always been interested in acting. I've wanted to break through. I've got to get a ticket to LA now. Is that the case, or? Yeah.
I would say at some point, yes, you do want to move out to LA. But and also people in LA love Aussie, so you've got like
awesome. Well, you sound American now. Sure. Do people hear your accent and say, like, do they ever pick up that you're Australian, or?
No, they do all the time. Yeah.
I guess when you're actually American, you can like easily pick up.
The Americans love the Australians, bro. Like when I went over, they were in love with us, dude. Like, I'm not joking, but like with like starting up acting and going into those classes, is it kind of like you start on like stage acting, and work your way up from like the bottom?
Yeah. So there's so many classes in LA, and like different classes. I did like a trial and error. So I enrolled in like 4 different classes. I was doing like 3 at one time, and a lot of them are just like on a stage with like, let's say like 15 people in the class. They'll give you like a script and they'll teach you their way of like breaking it down and acting it. But you know what? Like what I've learned recently is going to too many acting schools had made me really rigid in my craft, because it's an art, and like what makes it special is like your life experiences and what you bring to it. And so you don't need that many classes. Like really, as long as you're practicing it all the time, I think that's the most important thing, you know?
Yeah.
So you think it's like kind of like a natural thing as well, you know?
Yeah, I think a mix of both. It really is a 50-50. And yeah.
Okay. So it's like you still got to know like I don't know, like what's important in acting. Like can you cry? Can you cry right now if I told you to cry?
That's amazing. I love that question. No, I mean, that's the thing that I think people think. It's like monkey, cry, laugh, but it's not like that. It's like when you are invested in what's going on in that moment, it will organically come up. And that's where it's just like learning how to get into that spot, and then you have to let it all go, and then the rest is like within you, and like
that's really interesting. You know? For any, so like when you go.
Oh, okay.
We always have this problem.
Yeah, we always do. So when you're sitting in an audition room and they give you kind of like the character like overview, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
When it has a character overview, do you do that to a T, or do you try almost like create your own personality and create your own thing for the character that maybe the director hasn't seen before?
Yeah, I would say maybe at the beginning I more was like trying to create what they wanted to see, which is not a good idea. Like take what they write in the breakdown as kind of like just like bullet points of like, this is ballpark what we want.
Yeah.
Because they want a real person, and like if you're trying to be the idea of what they think, it's not going to be real and authentic and interesting. So it's like combining like the top characteristics of what they're talking with, what they're describing, and somehow making it your own. Like that's otherwise, think about it, like 200 people get the same lines, everyone's going to say it the same then.
Exactly.
Like, it's the few people who make it different and like true, they get the job. Yeah.
That's a really good point. There you go. So if I was to ask you if you could give any advice to any up and coming actors right now who might want to travel overseas or get into the industry, what would you kind of say to them?
Pressure.
Put you on the spot.
I want to say something like helpful. What would I say?
Just whatever comes to mind at the moment. That's exactly.
That really, honestly, to believe in yourself, as cheesy as that is, but more so, do not listen to people who say, it's so hard, only the 1% make it. You're crazy if you don't have a plan B. And don't listen to people who say, if there's ever a moment you feel like giving up, then it's not for you. Like all those things are bullshit. It's hard. And like, there are moments where you do feel like giving up, but it doesn't mean it's because you don't want to do it. It's just because it's hard. And there are like a lot of ups and downs, but you just got to get through that. And usually on the other side of that is like when something awesome happens.
100%. 100%.
And just like really quickly with the whole like having a plan B thing, I've never had a plan B because I feel like that's already preparing to fail. It's like, I don't have a plan B. I'm going to make this work. And this is what.
Yeah.
So,
that's so true.
That's really good.
That's good advice. Like, what's it also been like for the family back home, kind of see you like blossom overseas in LA to do all your acting and modeling, or if you've had any challenges as well with COVID not being able to come home and stuff like that? What's it been like for you and your family?
I mean, I come home every Christmas. Like I usually try and come home like twice a year. This is the longest that I haven't been home, and I miss everyone so much, definitely. And I'll be back. It's just like traveling right now I'm like, I don't even know if I go, then I have to do the 2-week quarantine, and then
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But you've made like a lot of friends over in LA and stuff like that. So is that the case? You still don't feel like by yourself, you know?
Oh, I have no friends.
I was actually concerned there for a second. That's the acting coming out. That's the acting coming out right there.
She got you. She got you.
She did get me.
No. Yes, I would hope that I have friends now 6 years in.
It has been a while, I would say.
Hopefully they're not all acting, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, I have friends now and have a boyfriend whose actually mom is Australian, which is crazy.
Oh, really?
Right?
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. So, and she's just the most Aussie woman ever. She's amazing. And I just like, it just feels like, I feel like I've definitely created my little home away from home.
That's all. Is your boyfriend away from home, like, or did he grow up in America?
No, he was born here, but his mom.
Oh,
his mom decided she left Australia when she was like 17, I think, and then went back.
Oh wow, because I was gonna ask like, what if he grew up in Sydney and then went over and started doing acting or something? But there you go. Okay,
like because like as you as an actor, like have there been like any famous people you might have met or had conversations with, or like big time actors or anything? I'm fanboying right now.
Fanboying. I mean, there's definitely been people. Yes, I feel weird saying it now because I'm like, you get, I don't know, like, I guess the one person that I can say, because I'm not friends with him, that I did meet, I met Leonardo DiCaprio a couple times, and like that was pretty cool because he's
what? She literally met the goat of acting.
Well, there you go. I'm like, okay, he's a good one to say.
What? That's mad. What were we like nervous? Is it like kind of like, oh my god, he's a thing, or just kind of like, oh, I'm an actor as well?
It was in like a social setting. It wasn't like at work or anything like that, and it was just like had the same group of friends that I was with, and
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
What do you think?
Yeah, he was really nice. He was really cool.
He does seem
What do you think separates, because there's so many actors in LA and around the world, but what do you think separates like those big stars from like everyone else? Like, or they just got lucky in a role which kind of took them off, or their acting style, or
from like what I've noticed, I would say they believe in their craft so much that like they're not trying to please other people. And it's such a industry where I think people get so like scared that it's not going to happen, so then they make really small decisions and like small actions, and the people who really believe in themselves are like willing to take big actions and to like continue. And I feel like that's what you have to be, kind of like, you have to have thick skin. You have to be like a leader, because and you have to be a business person at the same time.
Okay.
Is it all in one?
Would you say though there's still like an element of luck? Like obviously you have to be gutsy, but like do you still think, you know, some people like might be so close to landing a big role but they just don't, and that could really kind of put them down a downward spiral?
Yeah. It's hard. It happens a lot. And it is really hard.
But as you said, you know, you got to believe in yourself, and then eventually the opportunity will come.
Yeah. My way of looking at it is like, if you got really close to that role, then it's a sign that you're in the right field, you're in the right going in the right direction. Like,
for sure.
it's out of your control, but like the next one might be yours. So like, don't give up at that point. Like that, do not give up at that point, you know?
Have you ever had moments, because I know you're very like thick-skinned, but like, have you ever had any moments where you're like, geez, is this really worth all my time and effort, or something along those lines? Yeah.
Yes, and I like, for sure. Oh my God. Oh yes. Yeah.
100%.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, like you're saying, like with like you have to be passionate for acting and passionate to love your role. Like I've seen like behind the scenes like footage of like a lot of actors getting so passionate that they like almost turn into like anger. They get super bossy. Like have you had that experience like in like on stage or on a movie set or anything like that? Do they get so passionate about it like an Italian soccer player or like?
I haven't seen it in like. No, I haven't seen it yet. Not in like real life. I've seen like clips of it that someone will show. But it does happen. Actors get passionate. Directors get passionate. We all get like very passionate about.
Well, you enjoy it, right? So yeah.
What would kind of say you be like your style of acting right now? Like, have you come to a conclusion about what genre like you work best in, or you still kind of like open playing field?
Yeah, more open playing field. It's not necessarily about the genre, but like what's the story. If I if I'm inspired by the story, if I resonate with the story, with the character, then like that's
okay. So you wouldn't just like jump into any sort of role. You would really want to make sure that you'd enjoy the role.
Yeah, especially like now, I've learned that you do have to, and that comes with like really, I guess, believing in yourself, is like picking roles that will steer your career in the direction you want, you know, because there's a lot of different kinds of acting careers you can have, and that's up to you to choose the right roles for you and what direction you want to go in.
100%. You also said obviously you were writing, you had your tinfoil, your short film. Do you enjoy writing more, or do you want to actually be the one acting, delivering?
I would say I don't enjoy writing more. I enjoy writing, but I really enjoyed writing tinfoil because it was inspired by real life events, and so it was like something that I really wanted to tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you able to like give us a rundown of what it's about, or do we have to wait till mid next year?
Oh, you might have to wait. I guess like just like a very basic log line is it's about an Australian junkie couple who live in this really small place, and you can wait and see.
That's not from personal experience or anything.
She can't reveal.
I'm like, I said personal experience.
She's violated a friend. Oh my God.
Violated her high school friends.
Honestly though, I'm excited, and I'm glad you had Australia in it. You're doing us proud.
It's an Aussie film, like, because my boyfriend is in it too, and we
awesome.
He does a great Aussie accent because he's like grown up around it. So and the other actors that are in it, we made sure they all could do Aussie accents. So we shot it here, but we played LA for Australia, which is really cool. So,
that's really cool.
That's sick. That's awesome. That's actually sick.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like the agencies and stuff and like trying to find auditions, do you have like your own personal agent, or do you have to like research and find them yourself?
Yeah, a bit of both. When I first started out, I did a bunch of research and like reached out to a lot of agents in Australia first. And I found myself with one who I've stayed with since. And he, so he, I guess, would kind of be like the manager. And then he helps me connect to managers and agents out here in LA. Yeah.
Okay. So like you're saying, like having connections is a massive thing. Like if you're kind of like, because I know in like sports where I played, like you might have a certain amount of skill, but then politics is like the other 50% of it. Like you have to know people to be able to get somewhere. Would you say that might be the same case?
Yeah, in a way it is, in the sense of like, I mean, at the end of the day, talent will override everything. Like if you're great, you're great.
Sure. Yeah.
But it does help because like you can be great and you don't have a door to walk through to show people. So like you do need to have a little bit of both. But just like having one person on your team is great at first, and then more doors will open from that. But doing things like showcases out here, like anyone can do, meeting people in classes, like just sending cold emails to like managers and agents with like your demo reel, your headshot, like your resume, like things like that. Eventually someone will like be interested, and that's like all you need to start. And
you're at the place to be as well. Like LA is the place, so I'm sure that helps quite a lot as well.
Yeah. Like, what's it like? Because I know I've definitely heard over the years, like, what's it like? I've heard that it's quite tough to be like a woman in that acting industry, and I've heard like all these stories about, you know, different sexual assault things and how you guys are portrayed. Like, what's it been like from your personal experience being a woman in the acting and modeling industry, I guess?
I know that's a very real thing. I've been really lucky to not experience anything like that in acting. I think also because I started acting after the whole like Me Too movement, and when everyone became super aware, so everyone's like on their best behavior right now, which they should be. But I definitely experienced that when I first started modeling. If a photographer asks you to pose naked, don't do it. It's just, but when you're so young and like you're starting out, it can be really hard to say no. And so like always step away and be like, oh, I just need to call my agent, especially if it's through your agency, and then your agency can handle that for you. And like, it's okay to say no. It's not going to make or break your career. Like, don't ever feel pressured to think you have to do something, you know?
So to any like naive models out there, is that the advice you'd kind of give them? Just feel comfortable with what you're doing first?
Yeah, 100%. Like, stick to don't change like who you are to please the industry. That's just like, it's not worth it. And there's 100%. Other jobs that will be a perfect match for you, where you don't have to be like naked or partially naked if that's not what you're comfortable with, you know?
Yeah.
100%. Because I mean, I think I've definitely seen like now with modeling and different adverts and everything, like it's super good to see, like there's just like, instead of all the Botox girls and guys and blah blah blah, there's like normal people, and it's like it's super positive to see. And I don't know, I feel like it's had a really good effect for like the majority of society to see like, oh, like they're a normal person like me, you know, kind of thing. Which is like which I think it's just like, it's been such,
you don't feel like you have to change yourself. 100%.
Exactly right.
100%.
Exactly right.
Natural beauty, guys.
That's honestly I love that. I'm so about that, because I think like everyone starts to look the same when everyone follows the like trends of what we need to look like, which you don't look like a human anymore, and it's like there's no beauty in that. And like I don't know, I'm all for like just keep it natural. Definitely.
You think social media is like the primary cause for all that? People thinking that they have to, I don't know, have a specific kind of body.
Keeping up with the Kardashians as well.
Bingo. There's like cookie cutters now of like just so many girls who like look exactly like that. I'm like, it's like clones of it. It's crazy, but it's like, I know it comes from a not like, just people want to feel good and worthy, but also the more that I feel like we cave into that, then it's harder to be, you know, the minority who looks like a human being, and then that's not like society's standard of beauty anymore.
100%. Yeah. But
I definitely agree with you there, because I think I mean I've no problem like if a girl or guy wants to get like a bit of Botox like for themselves, but it's a bit strange to me if you want to get it for like external purposes to please someone else or to look a certain way.
It should come internally. 100%.
Exactly.
Like if you really want to do something, obviously nothing's holding you back, but I guess what we're talking about here is like if you feel as though that's what's going to make you feel worthy or something like that, or if you feel like that's the way to get into, I don't know, the modeling industry or so on and so forth, or, you know, that's, I mean, I don't know if modeling does that, if they take people who have changed their body or stuff like that, or they look for more natural beauty. Is there a mix, or what would you say?
Yeah, I would say there's a mix, for sure. I think things are going more into the like natural look, which is great.
100%.
But it's not worth it, like, to change your body to then try and be approved by other people. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so strange to see where we've come. I'd probably say in the last even probably 50 years, even a bit further back, 100 years since this massive social media influence, because everyone back in the, I don't know, 1900s, you know, they had absolutely none of that. It was all just like kind of that natural beauty, like even our grandparents, you know, it wasn't that long ago where like Botox wasn't a thing, you know, and everyone just kind of lived normally, lived naturally, and like it almost felt like a more pure society back then to what it is now. It just feels a bit toxic.
Yes, I so agree. And like that honestly, I went through my Instagram and deleted any photo that I had ever edited on like Facetune or something to make my skin look better.
That's good.
Or like bikini photos that I'm like posing a specific way to make my body look a certain like way. Because I do not want to be a part of that, and I don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it is quite toxic, to be fair. Like
have you had any stages since you've moved to LA even before it's kind of been like a bit of a mental crisis in your head, or like you've had your own set of problems and demons you've had to fight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was like a phase where I was like, oh, I need to get a boob job to be able to work more. And I really started to believe that for a while, which is crazy. And I'm so glad I didn't do it, because now like women are seeing how that's really impacting their health. And a lot of women are getting them taken out now. It's like become a thing, especially in LA.
Oh, are you able to like revert it? Are you able to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I never knew that.
Would have like detrimental effects, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Like effects on your immune system, effects on like everything. It's on your mental health.
Oh, 100%. I'm glad you have the kind of the good side story of the modeling industry and now going to acting, because I mean, as we both discussed, like it can be quite toxic and people can fall into that trap. But as we said, like now your primary aim is to put modeling to the side and to focus on the future of being a writer and doing acting. Is that exciting for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's exciting. It's challenging because I'm the type of person who likes stability and control, and I have a little bit more control like writing, but there's still, it's like it's still a challenge, but I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So
I mean, that's an interesting point you kind of raised, saying that like I'm the same, like loving to be in control, loving to know what's happening. With like acting, it's so uncertain. So like how would you say you kind of like control what you have through that uncertainty with acting?
It's real to the only way I can do that is kind of to not do that. Right. You know what I mean? Because when I do try and control something that I can't control, that's when I get like wild up in my head. Yeah. And I used to do that, but it got like exhausting. And so like figuring out what can I control and what can't I, and then doing that. Like I can control on getting better every day. I can control on like working on my craft and making sure like when I do get opportunities, I'm prepared for that. But I can't control if someone says yes or no on the other side. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Very true. Yeah. And like living in LA, I know it's kind of like the spot for like, I don't know, like the health food scene and all that kind of stuff. Like what would you say? Literally, like what would be? Like,
kale chips slap. Like, they're so good. Yeah, I actually like them.
But like I see like on YouTube and stuff like a weekend in LA, and obviously I've been to LA and been to like all the beaches and stuff. You see like all these cool people having their like protein smoothies and then going out for like a nice lunch. It's like what would be like a week in the life of Azizi Donnelly?
Oh man, I'm so bad. A week in the life of me, like I have 2 dogs. One of them wears a diaper, a nappy, I guess.
Is that because it's old or young?
Because he's old.
Oh my god,
he's so cute. He's deaf and blind, and his tongue hangs out because he has no teeth. Like he's old. So like my day is like I wake up, like I try to like meditate in the morning and like have not check my phone for like the first hour to have like some calm before like the day starts. Look after my dogs, And then I'll usually check what I have to do for the day and like go to some meetings and stuff like that. And just do what I have to do. But I am into health, definitely. Yeah. I like to cook. I cook a lot.
What's your favorite meal to cook?
Ooh, my favorite. I like cooking Indian food. It's fun.
Food. Was that an influence in living in India, or?
No, I just always liked Indian food, so I try to teach myself how to cook
Indian food. So, do you still have like? Does your mum help you with the Lebanese kind of side of things?
No.
Oh, bro, she's like
really
an insane cook, bro.
My mom, yeah.
she's put on feasts that even I've been for, and that's hard to make me full.
Lebanese food's amazing.
It is. I know. I miss that. I miss that's one thing I miss about home is like
your mum's food, simple stuff like that.
And the simple stuff and the community. Like it's so cool that like we would have we'd go into the back lane and have like a fire pit, and then like everyone just brings like a dish.
100%.
Yeah. You know, like
shout out Annandale. Shout out the 2038.
Shout out to Annandale.
You know it.
No, like so, what they don't really have those kind of things in LA overseas? Would you say, or they do, or?
Not really. Not really.
It's a different culture, different vibe.
So different.
Yeah. Do you have any long-term aims of coming back to Oz, or is it like I'm gonna stay in America?
I don't know. I think one day I would love to be able to be in both. You know, so have my career fully going here, so that on off seasons, because I guess it is kind of like sport. Like you're not filming all the time.
Yeah.
You do 2 movies a year. That might be 5 months out of the year that you're working. So to be on off seasons, go home and spend that time in Australia. Yeah, I would love to do that.
100%.
100%. That's it. And I mean, before we finish the podcast, we ask this to all our guests, but what would be one piece of life advice or advice you would give to anyone watching the podcast, whether that be they're young, older, even your age? What would be through your own experiences? And
we're putting you on the spot.
Yeah, that's it. What would be one piece of life advice you would give to everyone watching?
Life advice. Shit.
Give it some thought. The whole episode depends on this.
Sweating then. No, I don't know. Just to really take time to sit in quiet and figure out what do you want. Not what people around you are telling you, but what do you want in your gut, in your instincts. Because I think that's really important, is to live a life that you want, not that anyone else is telling you to live.
People are so easily influenced, so really find that goal and know that that's you and that's what you want to do. I'm glad that you did that.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And I still have to recheck myself. I check myself. I still have to sit in quiet with no social media, no phone, and just check in with myself and be what do I need right now? Am I happy? Am I going in the right direction? And make sure I'm making these decisions for myself and not for anyone else. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's great advice. That's such a good way to finish the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
It's been so good having you on, Azizi. Hopefully we can have a little checkup mid next year when you've got your short film out or something.
Yeah, I would love to. You guys are awesome.
Well, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And guys, we will put our socials and everything in the description so you guys can go follow, do your thing. But Azizi, thank you so much for coming on. We've really appreciated hearing about all your industry and your experience in modeling and acting. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
100%.
Well, thanks everyone for watching or listening on Apple's podcast or Spotify. And we will see you for a big episode next week, guys.
Take care.